GM Fox fam, I think we'll go ahead and get started here. Thank you. Welcome to the ShapeShift DAO All Fox number 4. This is us as a DAO collectively between all of our work streams going over highlights on things that have happened through the month of July and the month of August. This call will also be recorded as well, so just kind of for posterity's sake, hi out there to those of us that are checking in who are on the call. This is run a little bit differently than our governance calls in terms of the fact that we have a lot of information we're trying to pack in rather quickly. So I'm going to go over some house rules real quickly, and then we're going to get into our agenda. We don't do any QAs for any of this, although we do have a ShapeShift DAO stage chat open for people to talk about things, and we can have folks respond in chat. But we won't have any sort of like questions that we'll be taking as each of the work streams provide their updates. We will kind of run through all of the updates through 10 different teams, squads, work streams that we have working here at the DAO, and just getting some updates around KPIs, goals, metrics, big things that have happened over in those work streams. Grab some popcorn, sit back, relax, enjoy this, and we will start us off with product. GM Diggy.
GM Tyler, GM everybody. Are you cool to move through the slide?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'm hopping in there. Do
Okay.
you want to give us the vision statement over this beautiful background?
Sure. We envision a borderless financial system built on open, decentralized protocols. We shall be the pathway into this borderless financial system, an open source, multi-chain, self-custody crypto platform, enabling billions to achieve financial sovereignty. I don't know why the image isn't showing up. Oh, there it goes. Cool. All right, so I just wanted to touch briefly on the shared goals we've identified with marketing. We are working on making these SMART goals, and appreciate Ocean for the idea to do them as SMART goals. It's basically, turning them into SMART goals is basically identifying the how, and make sure that they're measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So working on that behind the scenes, but I just wanted to highlight high level what they are. 15% month-over-month growth in total users during the remainder of 2022. Baselines for these will be established 30 days after migration. So we've had some time for the dust to settle a little bit. If we started looking at measuring this sooner, but it's all gonna kind of go out the door once we do the migration. So 30 days after migration starts, we will be reporting on these metrics. 10% month-over-month growth in fiat purchases, 15% month-over-month increase in trade volume, and 10% month-over-month increase in the number of users depositing into DeFi protocols. And again, these are just high-level shared metrics with marketing. Okay, so now that we have analytics in the platform, they went live, I think July 18th, Pendo went up. So monthly active users kind of fluctuates between 6,700 and 7,000. Daily active users fluctuates between like 270 to 350. I think today we're up in the mid threes. Our device usage mostly now is desktop, but we still have a lot of mobile users. Once the mobile app migration is completed, I have a feeling obviously that number is going to flip-flop and the majority of our users will be on mobile and a very small part of our users are on tablet. And then there's the browser breakdown. Most of our users are in Chrome, followed by Safari. Also, just so you guys, oh, sorry, can you just go back 1 second? I just want to speak to this is that we do estimate the number of active users to be higher, but we don't know how many people have chosen to use private.shapeshift.com. So we actually don't start the analytics until the user clicks that they want to opt in. If they choose to opt out, we don't have any tracking on how many people have opted out. So an assumption would be that our active users is actually higher. We just don't have that data. Okay, you can go forward. Cool. So some trends that we're seeing is that about 50% of our active users every day are using the DeFi section, and around 40% of them go into the DeFi Earn section. I also want to point out that we did eliminate ops and product and some other addresses, some other IDs we've got from some other people across the DAO who test regularly so that they're not included in any of these analytics. So we have a really big opportunity with that DeFi section, clearly since about half of our daily users are in there. So one of the things we've been working on the product side is we're redoing the user experience for our DeFi Earn section. This is something that we've wanted to do for a while. It's just with so many other like competing priorities, we just haven't gotten to it. But we have been thinking through some ideas for this, and it's something that we're prioritizing now. And then another thing I wanted to point out is that we do have more yield opportunities coming soon, like idle, that's up behind a feature flag, yieldies, and then liquidity pools. We're planning to roll out liquidity pools on Thorchain first. And then we are in the process of making a section on our homepage for ShapeShift.com to call out our yield opportunities and start to bring more attention to the fact that we have these yield earning opportunities across our web app. The DeFi details, so some of the information we were able to break out, and I just want to caveat, this is like really, it's not too hard to do in Pendo, but it's hard to kind of match up because we have dashboards for Foxy, we have dashboards for Atom staking, we have dashboards for Yearn, and so trying to match up this data with that data can be pretty tricky. Some of the reasons being that when people are testing, like on ops, for example, some of those numbers in those dashboards seem higher than they are inside of our analytics. And that's just because we're eliminating those users from our analytics. And also sometimes there's other ways, like for example, with Foxy, we saw, I think I didn't update that number, but we saw, so from our platform, we saw that people who went to deposit, it was 114, and people who actually staked was 7. But inside our Foxy dashboard, we were seeing that number closer to 21. But that's our platform is not the only way to get Foxy. You can trade on ElasticSwap, for example. So we're going to continue to monitor this. It's still not that much data. So as we have more, we'll be able to, I think, hone in on it a little bit deeper. But for right now, it does look like we're tracking properly in Pendo. And then overview, I just want to highlight. So Foxy overview screen, people see that even when they've already deposited in Foxy. So that's the screen you go to either to deposit more or to check your balance and check your rewards. The Fox Farming CTA, we had 233 clicks in the past month and a half. This goes right now out to the external Fox Farming page, but soon we'll have this flow in the web app, so we'll be able to track that. Atom staking, this one I was trying to get the data earlier with Darwin and Marley. We're still working on this. I reached out to Gomes to see if he can help, but essentially we have a memo added to all of the staking done from ShapeShift. So we're trying to figure out how to pull those numbers into here and into our staking dashboard so that we can see all of the stakes that originated from ShapeShift. And then Yearn. So we tagged Yearn just top level as like all of the Yearn features as one. So, and one of the reasons for this is because it's to track each Yearn vault separately in Pendo is we have to tag each thing individually for each step, and it gets really burdensome, and it's also really hard to keep track of. And we can see inside the dashboard how much activity we have inside the Yearn vault. And since the flow is pretty much the same across all these staking protocols, we thought it would be better just to kind of monitor the flow from the top level. And then we saw this past 2 months, the most staked in Yearn this time period was Link, which was surprising. We assumed it was going to be USDC. But we had, according to our analytics, 8 new users stake into Yearn. Thank you. So I just wanted to show this. This is a concept. It's very early, so please save your comments for now. But this is something we are just looking at on the product side. As we have more and more opportunities coming into the platform, we were thinking it would be really cool if the user could potentially and this is something too we've wanted on product in other protocols, just to be able to put in an asset, pick the amount that you would like to deposit, and then see across which protocol you could earn the best yield in, for example, whether it's a liquidity pool or a staking opportunity, and being able to sort and filter those results. So this is something we're actively moving towards, but we plan to do a first iteration of this, an early iteration of just starting to reorganize our DeFi Earn section. I also want to mention right now that we are planning to open a user testing channel or turn one of our channels into a user testing channel. So we're going to be doing a lot more active community outreach for feedback, and we're going to be doing some polls and some surveys. So keep your eyes peeled for that in the coming weeks. But we're super excited about the opportunity we have with this DeFi section. Okay, go forward. Thank you. Awesome. So some more analytics. So trades. So daily users that are hitting the trade preview, unique users is about 35. So about 14% of our active users on the platform are interacting with trade every day. Of those users, about 4% are completing a trade every day. Some of the things we're looking at doing on the product side is moving the trade into its own section, like it's inside the global navigation. And we're also, as you guys know, working on adding bridging into there. We also have advanced trade features coming. Advanced trade settings coming. And then the ability to be able to trade from and to different accounts. So with the multi-accounts feature, you'll be able to pick which account you want to trade from. And then I think CalSwap and Thorchain both support being able to pick which account you want to trade to. So that will be a follow-on feature after parity, but that will be in addition to trading as well. And then just top wallets. I think this one surprised us the most, that KeepKey is still one of the top. We assumed most of our KeepKey users would still be on beta, but it looks like a lot of them have started to make the switch over to the new web app. So top wallets are native in KeepKey, and then MetaMask followed by Wallet Connect. Cool. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about some of the features that are recently been completed since we had the last All Fox, and stuff in flight. So core engineering, they finally got analytics up for us. We really appreciate that. Wallet Connect went up. The Axelar Bridge Alpha, I'm calling this an alpha because it is behind a feature flag. It does kind of work. It just needs to be pushed over the finish line. And so that's something we'll be focusing on after the migration. AVAX support is up. CalSwap is on. It's not announced yet, but it's there. The Swapper 2.0 refactor and redesign is underway. And so once that's done, we'll be safe to announce CalSwap. There's just some UI tweaks that we're doing there that we need to handle for CalSwap that will make the user experience better. So we chose not to announce it until the new swapper's ready. Doge support, Litecoin support, BCH support, and continuous deployment, something the engineering team worked very hard towards. And then some of the bounties that were completed recently, Fox ETH LP, Fox Farming, those are up behind feature flags, Mount Pelerin, fiat ramp provider, and then the ability to back up your native wallet. Things in progress. Core engineering was wrapping up Thorchain. Rainbow Charts is up behind a feature flag. Rune support is underway. And then also, like I mentioned, the Swapper 2.0, and that will be followed by the trade and TX settings. Multiple accounts. This is, I highlighted as turbo speed. The engineers are swarming on this one. This is needed for parity, and we're actively trying to hit parity ASAP. So this one is the biggest, last hanging fruit that we have. And then BNB support. Bounties, wrapping up idle finance. That one, as I said before, is up behind a feature flag. Once we have multiple account support, the core engineering team is going to circle back and add multiple account support into idle finance, so we can release that from the feature flag. YAT is almost there. We just have a couple last little details we're working through with the YAT team. Osmosis, asset support, trade support, staking support is all good. We're just waiting for a KeepKey part to be merged. And also, staking works with Kepler, but trading currently doesn't work with Kepler. Kepler was not part of the original bounty. So we're looking at ways we can get that completed and over the finish line, because we really don't see the value in announcing the feature until we have Kepler support, because we would assume that Kepler users would want to use the trade feature. On-Ramper, that's another fiat provider that's underway. And then MetaMask Snaps, Wallet Connect 2.0, and the new mobile app are all being handled right now by bounties. So important dates coming up for products and engineering and ops and marketing. September 19th, BNB and Rune, multiple accounts. That's the estimated line in the sand right now for completion of those. We're going to let them bake for a week, and then our goal is on September 26th to start migrating users from beta to the new web app. And then October 3rd, start migrating the mobile users into the new mobile app. And then sometime around mid-October to start to tear down legacy infrastructure. And that's it from me. So thanks. I'll check if there's any questions in the stage chat, but I think Gray Machine wants to pop up here and say some stuff as well. See in the audience.
Just sent him an invite. Thanks, Diggy.
Thank you.
Hello. Hey, I see my icon resonating. Yeah, I'm on Twitch, so I'm a few seconds behind. I just have a single slide, just a quick overview of what is happening at Creative Services. There we are. Oh, it looks like it didn't Okay, cool. Yeah, largely, often creative services is working on marketing content. In the last few weeks have been no huge change, but there's been a little bit less of the marketing stuff coming through over the last couple of weeks as we kind of pivot or kind of have a little bit of downtime in between launches. One thing I do want to focus on is, as you can see over there, the Mount Pelerin image. I've noticed that when we push out press releases, especially on Medium, on medium.com, our press releases always have a weirdly cropped square version of the image that we create for the press release. This is just something lately that we are going to be pushing into, so we'll be expanding the image formats to kind of be more accommodating and more friendly towards press releases. Now, the big thing that is going on is getting the old YouTube channel updated. It still has, it's got over 3,200 subscribers. There's still a lot of views coming in, so we've been pushing a little bit of new content over there and trying to get the momentum going back with that. So we've got some shorts and some old content, or some content from the new YouTube that we're going to migrate over, and then new content that we will be making for stuff like Keep Key. Keep Key is actually the number one and number 2 video on our site, on the YouTube channel. Setting up the Keep Key and all that. So as we move forward with Keep Key and get that off of beta, we'll be revisiting that. We're starting to get, excuse me, the new content from the recently voted in proposal for Amadeus Style to release more of the content that they've edited. In fact, I think I just put one of the new ones out. So that's cool. I'm still working on the internal branding guide. I think if you reload this presentation, there's a link to the work in progress of the branding guide. Pretty much, it's almost done. We just need to focus on content, grammar, tone of voice kind of stuff. And then at the very bottom, actually, we just did some minor merch store updates. I'm getting the images updated. We just had like plain t-shirts on a table that we had photographs of. So I went into got some stock photos and color matched the merchandise and made sure everything looked like the actual thing. So we got some new images there, changed the header, changed the copy so that it's not talking about the pre-sale as of February or March or whatever it was. So that is updated, and hopefully we'll be pushing forward with some new designs on the merch store. That's all I got.
Thanks, Gray Machine, and thanks to the Creative Services Squad as well. Up next, we've got engineering. GM,
GM, Tyler. Going to keep this one very quick. As we noted in previous All Foxes, there's quite a bit of an overlap between what happens with product and engineering, and Diggy makes nicer, prettier slides and has given a very big summary of kind of what's been happening across both product and engineering. Today is actually the last day of our budget cycle of this 6 months. So I just wanted to kind of go over the original deliverables that we put in there and some additional stuff. So you can see pretty much everything above that second blue line is either completed or ongoing stuff. Tokamak is coming in the next work stream or via a bounty via Yieldies. ThoughtChain is working behind a flag, and we're just waiting on some changes to the front end for some swapper stuff. The mobile app strategy, big thanks to the Foundation and Major Hayes for taking on the implementation of that. Osmo Bounty support, again, behind a flag. And then on-call support and maintenance. Thankfully, this has been pretty small, but that's ongoing. And then the additional stuff, the Fox, ETH, LP, and farming, again, functional behind a flag, but we're all kind of heads down on this multi-account stuff. The TLDR is we came in under budget and then over-delivered on the what we said we'd do initially. If you want to jump over to the next slide, we'll talk about looking to the future. So based on the deliverables there, you can see we had additional stuff in there, and it was just getting difficult to, we highlighted this at the beginning of the work stream. It was getting difficult to it's hard to forecast 6 months out. So we're doing a 4-month workstream renewal that's currently up on Snapshot for voting. That ends this week. So please go and vote for that one. The biggest thing, which is it's been around 12 months since we started writing this open source stuff, probably close to 13. But our next month will be pretty much the sole focus is closing the gap for feature parity to get us to the migration so we can bring over all of those users and start shutting down the legacy stuff. Big thanks to the Fox Foundation for helping on the kind of program management side of things there, lending Adam's resources, and just generally, helping us push in that direction. Like Diggy mentioned, continuous deployment's been one of the big kind of background initiatives we've been working on. To put this in perspective, in January, we had our code in a state where we couldn't release to production. By March, we were releasing twice a week. A few months after that, we were doing Monday through Thursday releases. And we're at a point now where we can pretty much release on demand. And we want to get that even to a point where engineering doesn't have any involvement. So when anything basically gets changed, it'll be tested by operations and go straight to production. So big thanks to yourself, Tyler, and your team for the work there. That it's an ongoing effort to get that as smooth as possible, but it gets us better velocity and quality and efficiency across the board. For kind of one of the initiatives to help improve on those metrics as well is like reduced work in progress for the work in progress for the future roadmap. Cutting down, we have about 11 different epics in progress at the moment. Cutting that down to just a handful won't mean that less stuff will get shipped. It just means we'll have more focus and less context switching, and stuff will finish sooner after it starts, basically. So a constant stream of stuff going through to users. So that's the general kind of high-level gist of how we're trying to operate with a lean and mean engineering team at the moment. But yeah, just generally trying to optimize everything across the whole product development cycle, from the product input through engineering, through ops, and out through marketing. So that's pretty much the update from engineering, and more than happy to take questions in the stage channel.
Thanks, DeFi. Very succinct and quick. Thank you very much. We'll move right on to marketing. We've got H. Payne, who's going to speak for marketing. Let me send an invite out there to you.
GM Tyler. Thanks for having me. Hello. So let's just we'll kick things off with a big overview. So before this last All Fox, we had a big marketing and growth consolidation. That was in early July, where basically both work streams combined into one. Big, great, wonderful times. We also redefined and restructured a lot of those responsibilities, gained Twitter access, and shortly after, we separated. So we're now back into 2 work streams. There's a proposal up right now that ends in 2 days, looking to redefine sort of what the marketing is doing, and under some temporary leadership of Tyler. Additionally, we are trying to balance priority and versus human capital, as a lot of our team has sort of either been moved on to other opportunities or just sort of redelegated their responsibilities. The couple of things we're really excited for in the next coming months are our new partnership workflow, a merch store reactivation, and DAP back on-chain tasks and rewards to finally get some people rewarded for completing on-chain tasks with our app, as well as incentivizing other revenue-generating activities for the DAO. So that's that. If we move on to the next slide, you can then take a look at the big overview. So this is sort of an overview of all of our metrics that we set out at the beginning of the year, the beginning of the cycle, new workstream cycle for marketing, with our new goals, being listed as you can see. I don't think there was enough attention probably given to historical values of performance. And so after pending this All Fox, I think we're going to tweak a little bit of these goals based on historical performance and current performance. There's a lot of red here, negative indicating, loss, and red indicating just we missed the goal. But if you look at the monthly average, generally we're trending relatively positive, which is really great considering market conditions and sort of a loss of human capital and resources there. Which has been really, really fun to look at. If you have any more questions or want to look at the deeper spreadsheet, I can link you after And yes, moving on to the next slide, breaking up a little bit of this data with some of our top performing tweets, not giveaways. These are just sort of organic content that we've put out. One of them being our DAO anniversary. It is a very big deal. Our 1 year as a DAO, and in July did very, very well. And then in August, our DeFi AVAX launch worked super, super swell. Moving on to the next slide, we have our more metrics looking into sort of DeFi opportunities. And so one of our goals was to increase token holders in terms of, Fox staked as a 7%, and then our holders increased at 20%, both of those being month over month. This graph is showing, or this chart is showing those numbers accordingly. We've missed all of those goals, but all of those numbers are generally positive relative to month over month, with just sort of a almost flat for this last month with a negative 0.4%. So that's very cool. And as stated by Diggy earlier, it's not super easy to monitor Yearn. And when we were looking at some of that information, we realized the dashboard wasn't super conducive to finding out some of this historical data and insights we need to really monitor, what's going on with Yearn and what's happening. So we sort of marking that as like a zero change or a ambiguous, we'll figure that out. The plan is to revamp the Dune dashboard, which is currently in talks with the guy who created it, and present some of these metrics later at a later time during a marketing office hours. Moving on to Banksa and some of our on-ramping, we weren't able to get access to gem analytics in time, or insights in time. And so we're moving forward with some more in-depth gem communications, as well as with our recent integration of Mount Pelerin. They're going to be sending us monthly updates, which is super exciting, to really get some more conducive insights in there to seeing what these on-rampers are doing. We're seeing largely with a lot of these insights that people are, on Pendo at least, that people are accessing all of these on-ramp solutions relatively equally. I guess aside from Mount Pelerin, which has not been populated in Pendo yet, but the 3 existing ones are all being accessed and clicked on relatively easily in terms of the button interface. So I'm looking forward to seeing where those numbers lead to. Moving on to the last slide, after talking your ears off for way too long, part 2, the Electric Boogaloo, we are looking at our trades. So this is actually quite interesting. We changed swappers probably, July, August time. So because of that, if you look at our data, our month over month, we went from 2 million total volume to just under 500,000. A lot of that is moved over to the swapper, which we are building out a dashboard for right now to get some of that data. And as we continue to build there, collecting all of that information into one spot is going to be super duper important. My sort of went off on a mental gymnastics route and was like, okay, so our new app is using this. So this is all that data here is based on people who are using beta.shapeshift or older versions of the app, which is, we can consider all the people who need to migrate. So roughly we have about $500,000 of people or volume moving around on this old app that's not being updated. I guess aside from ETH swaps, because Cal only allows for wrapped ETH. You can read the goals for yourself there. We're going to continue redefining and restructuring what those goals mean as we sort of look at this historical data and get all this data that we don't have in line. And yeah, it's going to be a good time for marketing and moving forward. I'm very, very, very excited for it. And yeah, that's all I got, Tyler.
Thanks, H-Pain. You didn't yak our ears off at all. That was really great, and a whole bunch of data very succinctly delivered. Up next, we've got globalization, and the Smith was able to make it. BD, the Smith.
Bom dia, greetings from Rio de Janeiro. Yeah, I was able to make it, so here I am. Thank you, Tyler. That's my first All Fox meeting as leader. So quick updates about globalization, starting with translations metrics, but it's good to mention that our operations started 15 days ago, and since then we have been running the workstream with a lean bounty budget. So that's a new globalization workstream with new KPIs and objectives. Okay, back to translation metrics. It is a brand new process integrated with GitHub and Weglot too. So we performed some PRs in web and lib repository. We added German for app translations, counting 4,000 words and more than 1,000 strings in our repositories. We are covering 3 languages in .com with the Weglot setup. Weglot is the tool that we are using for translations in .com. We are also covering 4 languages in app with the GitHub flow. And we also set up 3 regional landing pages in Portuguese, Spanish, and French. You can go to next slide, please. Thank you. Well, I would like to present more data about social metrics, but for social, numbers are good so far. We reached 20% in Twitter growth in past 14 days. Both accounts, and I mean Spanish and Portuguese, started this year, a couple of months ago. We do intend to grow these accounts, considering 3,000 followers in Brazil and at least 1,000 followers in the Spanish account. We also incubated a growth action in the Hive chain. We have been working with Hive chain since the beginning. So our account value reached 300 USD. It's pretty impressive. It's like a small whale in this chain. So we have quite governance power in this chain with this account. It's pretty cool. Multiple Twitter spaces with OG projects like Doing Good, Niftify, Coinex, Conflux. We have been doing a Fox giveaway between Spanish and Brazil pages. Also, Band TV participation. That's the 30th biggest media in Brazil. We also built some partnerships like the Being Crypto President's partnership. So we are in contact with the chief editor in Being Crypto. So she's helping us and spread the word across Brazil in our reliable portal. We also get close to Bob Burnquist's partnership. We did a joint event with Bob. It was a success. We dropped more than 2,000 foxes in that event and made a nice onboarding with poor community. So basically, with Bob, we are aligning public goods with sports. In my opinion, I think this is a really good branding for ShapeShift. Bob is a superstar, and he's with us actually in this room, in this event actually. He will attend to Blockchain Rio tomorrow. We're gonna meet Bob tomorrow, and yeah, it has been a good partnership with Bob. Okay, next. Good. Traffic analytics. So I've been digging into Google Analytics property that really kindly sent me this property. So I've been digging into data on that environment. We don't have much data about traffic sources like from the last year, but in August, we can see that the global traffic holds 30% of all .com traffic, given the countries that we are supporting in our language coverage. And I mean, Germany, France, Brazil, and Spain. You guys can see in the chart that I'm comparing with the United States traffic. That's the usual traffic if we follow Google Analytics metrics. We also activated regional landing pages according to country traffic, like br.shapeshift.com, like es.shapeshift.com, or fr.shapeshift.com. We have been building strategic backlinks in Brazilian's PR, especially in Being Crypto. So I think this could increase our traffic, at least from Brazil, in this stage. Yeah, good. The 2022 event agenda. So we started in January with Ethereum Rio on the main stage. So from there to now, we have been activating several events. We made a sponsorship in BitConf, also with presence in the main stage. We attended to Ethereum Barcelona. with global foxes. We have scheduled from August to October. DevCon will take place in October, and then the presentation is showing August, but it's October. So for the next events, I have a pitching tomorrow in Blockchain Hill. We are also building partnership with FoxChain, the Cosmoverse activation with merchandising and after party. And we do intend to jump to DevCon. And if we jump there, of course, we'll do a nice activation with a cool merch and a lot of potential partners in contact.
Awesome. Thank you very much, the Smith, and good luck with you. Oh, is there one more? Oops.
Yeah.
So
I just
sorry.
added. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, our next steps, keep ShapeShift a plural organization with strategic language support. We are adding Russian and Chinese to the roadmap. And we do intend to promote ShapeShift brands across the world within our global communities, expanding DAO's ethos to the entire world, and mostly incubate non-US talents. That's the globalization mission. Thank you, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed some metrics from globalization.
Thank you, the Smith, and good luck with your talk. Did you already speak, or do you speak tomorrow?
Yeah, I have 2 days in the main stage. Today, I had a pitching on Rio Crypto Hubby, and tomorrow another pitching in Blockchain Rio.
Awesome. Well, good luck with your speech, and we hope to
maybe
get some more photos from that.
For sure. I hope it brings a lot of cool news for you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Up next is the operations workstream, and I'll do a quick presentation on that. Got a cool little AI-generated All Fox there. Our KPIs, we hit almost all of our KPIs, honestly. We will probably be revisiting our KPIs before the next All Fox to tighten up some of them and more adapt them to the rapidly changing develop process and release process that we've created with engineering. So 99% uptime was easy to hit. Under 10 prod issues over the quarter, we had 0. And really getting no prod issues is a space that I've never seen at ShapeShift before. So hats off to engineering for all the work that you guys are doing, and the processes that you've built and the standards that you have set has made operations lives a lot easier, and really been a great partnership between the 2 work streams. We have a 93.64% triage resolution rate. No hot fixes in July, 1 in August, no rollbacks in either July or August. So really lots of fast moving, high quality code is going through engineering, being tested by ops, and going out into prod with little problems. If we look at the test funds and minor fees, some really astounding things have happened based on these changes. So we really were able to revisit how we were using our funds for testing things, and this kind of move towards CI has dropped our regular average spend per commit from about $60 a commit down to under $1 a commit in Q3. So at $2, a little over $2 in July, and a little under $1.20 in August. You can see that some of this is related to the network fees going down in general over time, but a lot of this is also related to the processes and procedures around our testing that we've been able to continuously iterate on. You can see up at the top there, kind of the July and August spends of our testing split out between deployments testing, ad hoc spending, and regression. Ad hoc testing and regression testing. Overall, this spend has kind of been down across the board. and we hope to continue that trend as we optimize. Quick look at bounties. There's a top 6 list of our top contributors from the last 30 days. We've done a total of 180 bounties to date so far as a DAO, 23 in the last 2 months. And some of the big numbers here that are, we've spent 223,000 Fox, or roughly 22,000 USD in July and August for the bounty work that we've done. Big hats off to D-Work for working with us to have this process be as smooth as it is, and I can't wait to see it continue to grow. Quick lens into governance and triage. We've had 54 governance calls, over 600 forum topics. I had to double check that number because I didn't think it was actually true, but we have had 600 unique individual forum topics inside our forum. So way to go, Fox fam. This governance thing is really happening. 100 proposals, 1,378 voters, and just under 10,000 ballots. If we look at the triage side of this as well, almost all of the issues that are being reported in triage are related to UI UX. That's what the big pie is telling us. And unfortunately for July and August, we did not hit the 80% triage resolved rate that we'd like to hit. And a lot of this is due to bugs that are being identified in legacy code infrastructure are no longer being treated with the same level of focus. And we're doing a lot more troubleshooting, or honestly, sometimes in certain circumstances, leaving the things broken for hopes that we will have a better future in app. So there's some understanding inside those numbers, and we hope to find some future resolution paths through bounties so we can actually even increase that number while engineering continues the velocity that they're doing. And that is it for operations. So thank you very much, guys, for listening to me. Up next, we have support. We have Mogi out in the audience. Let me bring it up. GM, sir.
Hey, GM Tyler. Hello, everybody. So some July and August updates for customer support. We had 765 total tickets that were created, 716 via Zendesk, and 49 tickets through Discord. So these 49 Discord support requests are ones that we can measure through the designated support channels. But I also realize that sometimes our users will ask questions in the general channel or other random channels, and oftentimes a community member who isn't on the support team will end up providing an answer or solution. So thanks to all of you who help out our support team in this way. Our median resolution time for Zendesk tickets, 3.2 hours. 56% of all Zendesk tickets were solved within 5 hours or less. And we still have coverage 7 days a week, just not 24 hours a day. It's more like 16 hours a day now. Workstream and budget updates. So some staff cuts since the last All Fox. One agent has been let go, which gives us an additional $3,800 in savings. We now have 5 members on the support team, 4 currently with Crypto Meg being out. Mogi, that's me, named the interim support leader as Crypto Meg is on maternity leave. She is scheduled to be back at the end of October. Support, the support team is now meeting once a week versus once a month. With the smaller team, it just kind of made sense to meet every week to help keep everyone connected and on the same page. And our adjusted proposal funding request. Right now our budget calls for 24,690 USDC a month. Initially, the original request, it was 45,600, so that's a 46% overall decrease there. Next slide, please. New articles. I'm not going to read off all these, but there's been 11 new articles. The majority of them are related to app.shapeshift.com. Some other help desk news. I'm working on archiving a lot of articles that are related to old ShapeShift products, such as CoinCap, Beta.ShapeShift, mobile, anything to do with accounts, etc. These archived articles will be gone from public view, but still available for our support team to use as references if needed. This will just help clean everything up. And cool, moving right along. Got some charts for you. The incoming weekly tickets. We've averaged 85 tickets a week over the last 2 months. Weekly reply time average. It's right at about an hour. 1 hour average response time. And Zendesk help desk views, just shy of 14,000 over the last couple of months. Cool. Thanks for your time, everyone.
Thanks, Mogi. Up next, we have updates from the moderation workstream with Jenkin. GM, sir.
GM, hope everything's doing well. I just have a few stats. The monthly increase of the members was up 1% from last month. It was down a hair the last month. We were at 96.89. Which shows the numbers, obviously, from the last few. Current stats, we've the last 30 days, we've only raised 104 members. It's only a 1%, 1.07 increase total. Then the next slide. At least they updated my my chart there. Still over 26 raids. Actually, I think we added 2 more since I updated this. So there's a few extra there. The average of the fake mods did go up. It's now 2. That's every day, yes. Global languages, we're now at 8. 3 of those are matrix connected, and we're also working on and got it running is a global connection that you can actually talk in one channel in English and it's translated into the other languages, or you're in those other languages and it's translated into the other ones. It's kind of a grid translation. It's a lot of fun. I updated this, so this shows the current and the last time for the All Fox. So you did see we're getting more numbers for every language. I'm slowly going up here. Go ahead and throw the next. Obviously, more scammers. I've been seeing a lot more scammers recently. The global team helped me work on some the new welcome and help channels. We've updated a few of those that you can actually click on. I think there's 3 languages you can choose. Hopefully they'll get a few more eventually. Actually, I think 4 now. That's the global chats. I already said that. My goodness, I'm out of my turn here. I think it's next for the tokenomics. Thanks.
Thank you, GK. Up next, we've got Kent.
Hey, Tyler, how's it going?
Doing well, sir. Doing well. Just powering through.
Yeah, great to hear you leading the session. I kind of missed the governance calls, although never was a kicking ass leading those too.
Yeah, he does a great job. I'll cameo every now and then, though. Don't you worry.
Sweet. Yeah, old school style. Yeah, so let's talk about tokenomics. Like you, I also chose a AI generated image. My prompt was a fox fighting a bear in a cyberpunk environment. Seemed fitting. So let's talk about the tokenomics and the financial status of the DAO. Let's get down to brass tacks. As Willie posted in that wonderfully simple and to the point visual in the stage chat, it's all about first and foremost surviving this bear market, and the number one thing, the number one variable that will dictate that is our runway, our ability to continue to pay contributors and stables throughout this bear market. So currently we have roughly 3.6 million in USDC, and given our projected monthly spend of about 330K a month, this is down from over 550K a month prior to the various budget cuts. We have about 10 months of runway. The last All Fox 2 months ago when we did this, we had 11 months of runway. You might wonder, well, why aren't we down more given that run rate? The reason lies in this caveat in the line below. These projections assume 0 monthly revenue and 0 additional diversification in stablecoins. In fact, we actually have our ongoing USDC to Fox bond program, which even though it was bringing in much more USDC previously, even at these lower distributions and lower Fox prices, we're still netting around like 8K a day. So that makes a difference in terms of our runway. On the liability side of things, we still have these RARI loans out. Pool 7 is the larger one, about 660K remaining, and then Pool 79, 230K. Those both have high APRs of like a little over 100%. So these are paying those off is a high priority. Luckily, we've been able to allocate those bond sales primarily towards paying those down. So that's made a nice difference. Next slide, please. This is actually, I managed to put this one a little bit ahead of things. Keep the stablecoin theme in mind. We'll be right back to that. But I wanted to bring this up because it is a very important factor for the DAO right now that tokenomics is dealing with. This relates to the Tribe Liquidity as a Service program that we were involved in. That was initiated with them, I believe, in like late November. It goes back to last year. It is the means by which we acquired Tribe. It helped Fox sort of propagate throughout the DeFi world a little bit. But fast forward to today, currently there's 15.3 million Fox locked in a Tribe-controlled smart contract related to that last program. Fei Labs, you guys have probably seen, recently proposed winding down the Fei protocol. This is in the wake of their hack, and as well as like regulatory concerns around stables, and probably also in the wake of the Tornado Cash stuff. The outcome of this is not quite clear, but there's a couple scenarios that could play out. One is that Fox might be distributed on a pro rata basis to all Tribe holders. Effectively, a bit of a airdrop, albeit one not controlled by the ShapeShift DAO. There's also they're also willing to accept OTC bids for that Fox and then put that up to governance. So we've been closely monitoring this and are weighing the best action for the DAO. We'll keep you apprised on this last situation. Going back to the stables. So Josh had a really cool idea in our last TMDC call. He was wondering, do we have some way of visualizing our stablecoin holdings over time? Of course, we have the runway projection spreadsheet. But what's nice is, thanks to our wonderful dashboards, this data is available. So Darwin quickly threw this together, and I thought it was really cool to see. So a couple takeaways here. You can see the DAO quickly amassing a bear market nest egg. I'm really glad we did this, because you can imagine, we would not be in good shape if we didn't. So, starting from effectively 0 at the start of the year, we were able to build up, around 5 million in stables at the peak. Of course, that was also while using some of those stables to pay payroll. The other nice feature about this chart is the measured and steady and predictable decline in our stablecoin reserves, and also at a more measured clip in recent months due to the budget cuts. So at the current pace, we're looking at that 10-month runway. There's different factors that could change that. Perhaps if we can get more stablecoins accumulated via our Olympus bond, we can pay off those loans faster. But that's kind of the lay of the land right now. Quick update on Yieldies. Yieldies were governance approved sort of sequel to Foxy. So this is just a generalizable approach to Foxy, where really any sort of ERC20 or ETH could be used for staking purposes. So basically you stake one of those tokens in Yieldy, and then you generate yield in a frictionless fashion via the magic of rebasing. So that code is actually finished and pretty much ready for production, minus maybe some final little tweaks and polishing. So really now it's a matter of how do we get this integrated into the ShapeShift platform. We had a really cool kickoff meeting this week across various work streams, product engineering, marketing, tokenomics, the whole bit, in terms of how to make that a reality. So stay tuned for that. Yieldies are, it's easy to dismiss this sort of thing in a bear market when yield is not really as good as it was before. Although I just saw an Aave, like ETH is yielding 4%, which isn't too bad for just ETH. So there's going to be strategies to employ here, and we'll be touching on that as relates to tokenomics as things get every week as things evolve on that front. Also on the ETH side, coming very, very soon is the merge. I guess I should have said hopefully coming soon, but it looks quite likely. The merge is actually happening. I think some people are still almost in disbelief that it's actually scheduled, and some Ethereum critics still will just be beside themselves once it happens, because it's been talked about for a long time. Really, a switch to proof of stake has always been part of the social contract of Ethereum. This was something that Vitalik mentioned even in the formative stages, and it's always been part of the roadmap. But here we are, many years later. Currently, the merge is expected to happen roughly on the 15th of September. So that could change within a day or two, depending on hash rate, but that's still kind of the target date. So tune in to tokenomics on September 13th. I'm going to devote half the session to just doing an overview of the merge, what it means for Ethereum, and also, what it means for DeFi, as well as kind of answer any questions you guys have, and also just busting some myths around the merge. There's a lot of misconceptions that you see flying around crypto Twitter, and I want to disabuse everybody of those notions and put you on a firmer ground for kicking ass in the post-merge world. A couple quick updates on the TMDC front. So as a reminder, in early August, SCP-93 allocated another 60 million worth of Fox to the TMDC. The TMDC only exists at the behest and the approval of the community itself. Thus, every time the TMDC goes through another 60 million Fox and various things, various positioning in the DeFi world, it needs to request another tranche. That was approved in early August. Recent decisions, we did choose to, and by we, I'm talking about myself, who's on the committee, and the rest of the committee, paying $50K a week towards the bond proceeds, of our bond proceeds towards Rari loans. So essentially, pretty much all of the Olympus Pro bond proceeds are going towards Rari right now. Additionally, and this was really with an eye towards mitigating the risk of USDC getting blacklisted, or blacklisting the DAO's finances, I should say Circle. We're aiming to convert slowly but steadily, some of this USDC into LUSD. So excess proceeds from those Olympus bonds will be converted into LUSD. That remains a good target for non-centralized stablecoin conversion, I think. And we'll be finding some other opportunities as well, I think, as time passes. And then finally, let's wrap it up with a quick VFox update. Again, this is another one that's easy to overlook in a bear market. Investing, you don't hear as much about this, but this sub-DAO, VFox, was allocated from via governance up to, or was given the ability to allocate up to $1 million worth of digital wealth. So far, VFox has allocated 150K plus 17,500 Fox. The second allocation was made in late July. This was 50,000 towards a early stage project that's still in stealth. Now, transparency is, of course, the watchword here at the DAO, and by default, everything is transparent. This particular project has elected to remain in stealth mode for, I think, some good reasons. So out of respect to their desires to stay in stealth mode, we can't quite reveal that yet, but needless to say, we did some thorough vetting on it, myself, Willie, and John, and are quite bullish on this. We continue to be super highly selective, given our limited runway. You know, if the DAO sub DAO is going to make investments, it needs to be to really justify that. You know, it's not like we're YOLOing into things, and we still are you know, vetting various projects and also forming I think really useful relationships in this bear market that could bear fruit for the sub DAO and the DAO as a whole in the future. So I believe that's like my last slide. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have an awesome day.
Thanks, Kent. Now, last but not least, is the foundation.
Thank you, Tyler. GM Foxes. Man, it is incredible how much gets done in a couple months, and even more impressive that you guys are all able to squeeze that into an hour. We're at the top of the hour, so I'll try and get through this last section quickly. Since the last All Fox, Doge, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin support is live in the app. Huge shout out to Adam for the collaboration he did with Kevin to get that done with minimal distractions to the core engineering stream. Those were requirements for getting to parity so that we could complete this migration. We've also got br.shapeshift.com, es.shapeshift.com, and frshapeshift.com live. That was another great collaboration with the global work stream. The mobile app migration is underway with Major Hayes. This was collaboration with Ocean, myself, Adam, supporting on the spec side, the project management side, the development side, and of course the foundation is sponsoring this bounty for Major Hayes. That's coming along nicely. And last but not least, the backup email reminder campaign has begun. And I got a couple slides to talk about just that. Also, we are bidding farewell to Chief of Mish. She was working part-time to support the DAO with administrative tasks. She still loves the DAO and is always going to be a Fox at heart, but she wanted to take more time to focus on her full-time role, which is ramping up. So say GM to Darwin, who has stepped in to assist us with those administrative tasks and has already been helping us a lot with the accounting. Welcome, Darwin. So right now, the top goal for the foundation is this migration of all users from the legacy apps to the new apps, which requires getting to parity with app.shapeshift.com. We have this timeline put together where by September 19th, we are aiming to release multiple accounts, one of the final features required for parity. On September 26th, we plan to migrate all the web users from beta.shapeshift.com to app.shapeshift.com. We'll essentially be redirecting them. So if anyone tries to visit beta.shapeshift.com, they'll land on app.shapeshift.com, and we'll fortunately see most of the features that they enjoyed in the legacy app, as well as some awesome new features. And on October 3rd will be the final step where we migrate mobile users, which will basically entail replacing the existing app in the app stores with this new wrapped version of app.shapeshift.com. This will result in an estimated $45,000 per month in savings, as well as 25,000 additional MAUs on DAO-owned products. Hence why it's our number one goal at the foundation. We initially set the goal to have this completed by November 1st, and we're well on track to hopefully complete this about 1 month ahead of schedule. Thank you, everyone at the DAO, for all the coordination and efforts to hit this goal. All right, so part of migrating users to this new decentralized app and sunsetting the legacy apps, it means that auth is going away. And currently, we have, as of the last count, over 1 million users who have created an account with an email and password that have an encrypted seed phrase stored on our servers that they can access with that email and password. But there's no clear way, no feasible way to decentralize that sensitive data and host it in a public way without opening up all those encrypted seed phrases to the vulnerability of being brute forced. So these auth servers need to go away. But the foundation is planning to operate them for as long as we can. And this past month, we began emailing users who have created a wallet with an email and password to let them know that auth is going away and they must back up their seed phrase. Our plan is to continue sending this email monthly until users confirm that they backed up their seed phrase. And then when we're finally ready to shut down the auth servers, we will email any user who has not yet confirmed that they've backed up their seed phrase, their encrypted seed phrase, along with a path to decrypt it by typing in their password. So this is the plan for sunsetting auth. And unfortunately, it's been a little bit challenging on the email front. That plan definitely depends on our ability to deliver emails. And when the foundation took over the email tool and contacts, we ended up hurting our email reputation because no emails had been sent for months. And we did a big blast to all users because we were required to notify them of the data transfer. And that put our email IP and domain onto some blacklists. So we started a campaign to repair our email reputation. And that initial approach was unsuccessful. We had some limited success there, but ultimately resulted in our account being placed in a temporary compliance freeze. Fortunately, we were able to work with Autopilot's head of email deliverability to unfreeze our account and prepare a new plan for repairing email reputation and also maximizing deliverability. And that is currently underway. So the plan's ramping up. Part of the plan here is to send to more emails every day as opposed to just blasting to a huge list on day one. And so far, IP and domain reputation have improved from the lowest level, bad, to the second highest level, medium. So we're seeing some great progress and hopefully can maintain that improved reputation as we ramp up. And we have basically some plans. The head of email deliverability at Autopilot is confident that we will be able to send these emails to all users, even users who haven't engaged in over 18 months. We explained our situation to them, and we came up with a plan where we can basically slowly trickle in these users that haven't engaged, along with our warmer contacts who have engaged in the past 18 months. So hopefully we'll have more updates for you guys at the next All Fox, but current plan is just to continue ramping up and following that email repair plan. Also want to give a huge shout out to HPain and Arena for partnering with me on this and providing all the copy for the emails. We're of course also supporting the growth work stream and sending out promotional emails to our contacts as well. All right, one other thing I wanted to mention was this grant committee. So runway is a hot topic, and in an effort to extend our runway with minimal distractions to the DAO and cost, because fundraising can cost a lot and take a lot of time, a grant committee has been formed. And there's a Discord channel that anyone is welcome to join. It's kind of just an organic committee with the goal of applying to and securing grants from protocols that are already aligned with our roadmap. So some of this is already underway. Basically, our next steps here are just to apply for more grants and cultivate a repository of FAQs so that each grant application gets a little bit easier. And you can see a number of examples here of protocols or projects that have grant programs that are aligned with our roadmap. And if you have any other opportunities that you think would be aligned with our roadmap, please feel free to jump in the Notion doc and add them or drop them in grant committee. All right, so on the horizon, the big focus right now is completing user migration. We're also in the process of migrating the forum and ideation to Metaforo if this proposal passes. There's also a proposal that Ocean put up today to outsource the responsible disclosure, triaging, and evaluation process. And we're also researching some crypto to fiat payment partners to enable the DAO to pay fiat bills without any bank account. If you ever need anything that the DAO can't provide, please ask us in Fox Foundation, and we will do our best to help. All right, thanks, Tyler. Back to you.